Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Jagdpanzer E100, the Tier 10 German tank destroyer. It's located on the west spawn of Airfield and it's under the command of shootr79. And, well, although he's the one who sent in the replay, he's not the subject of the battle. Yep, that is another tank on his team. And when we get to a certain point in this video, we'll swap over and watch that other player and see how he gets on. Now, the Jagdpanzer E100, otherwise known as the Broomstick of Death, or the Jaeger, is a very powerful tank destroyer, which actually does have an artillery gun, a cannon, because it's got the 17cm gun. It is basically a fake tank because the Germans never made a Jagdpanzer E100. In fact, it's based on the E100 hull. You can see here he's getting a bit of a help there from the GSOR 1008. Now he's got a capability of doing 1050 alpha, and his first shot wipes out the enemy GSOR 1008 just like that. So he's already got a kill. Very quick. It's very powerful, this gun. It will penetrate 299 with the standard ammo, but he's actually firing nothing but heat. And you can see here he's got 420mm of pen with the heat rounds. So anything he hits is more than likely going to penetrate it, unless of course he's very unlucky. Now these tank destroyers are also fairly heavily armoured, so even if they do get hit in return, it's not always going to actually do damage. 200mm of armour at the front, 120 at the sides, 150 at the rear. Of course it does have some weak spots. The lower plate is vulnerable because of course it's based on the E100, and E100s do have weak lower plates. But of course it's got doors at the back, and you can see them there in that shot. And those doors for the crew, yep, that's a vulnerable spot there again. Now it does have, as I said, very good high power heat ammo, and it can really overmatch armour. It's also got a fairly high hit point. Oh, unfortunately didn't get the turtle there. Now it also has fairly good terrain resistance and fairly good gun handling as well, and that's important on a tank that is a tank destroyer. Okay, first shot on the target, yeah, gets a hit and a pen, 1099, so it's a high roll. He's also packing 5 rounds of HE, and with those rounds he's capable of doing 1400 alpha, but it will only penetrate 85mm of armour, so you'd have to hit a really good spot on the enemy tank. It's a thick armoured tank, but he could probably pen that Leopard 1 who's up in that little pocket. So as I was saying, this is not the focus of the battle. The main focus is actually on one of the other players on our team, who actually gets a rather good result. And another hit! 861, it's a low roll. Quite a substantial low roll there on the E100. He's trying to line up another shot. There he is. Okay, that long reload though. 24.54 is the book reload. He's got 20.90. And the E100 managed to get into that pocket. Is it the pocket? No, he's actually in the pass, not in the pocket. And our AMX-50B is pulled back, which might actually help us, because if he tempts the guy to pull out, then we'll be able to get around into him. Yeah, the AMX-50 just took a hit from the E100. And in fact there's a Kranvon there as well. Okay, he gets around into a Type 4 instead. 924, a low roll. So he's now up to 3,200 hit points of damage, and as I said, remember shootr79 is not the subject of this video. We're actually going to follow somebody else. He's having a fantastic game. but it's actually one of his teammates who does even better. You can see an ELC Evan 90. Oh, he does hit the Scorpion, but is his armor not hit? And I think that normally indicates that he actually hit the tracks or something like that. And that ELC is of some concern. That and the Cranvan, they're both sneaking up, and he's decided the best thing to do is pull back, because if he stays in the current position, he is going to suffer. Unfortunately, now the gun depression works against him. He's only got 6 degrees of gun depression. Yeah, that's kind of indication of help, and he needs help now, because otherwise the ELC is going to creep up on him. And although the ELC can only isolate him and immobilize him with the 90mm gun, that will enable the Cranvan to sneak up and get hits. The GSOR was a short distance away earlier in the game, has now come back. He's trying to stop the Cranvan, so we decided to go up and help him. And unfortunately the GSOR is being emptied into, but he does get the Cranvan, but gets taken out and returned by the ELC Evan 90. Oh, ELC about to go through frame. Just a fraction of a second too late, but he was seen. Now thankfully there is no Arty in this game, so if there was Arty, a slow moving vehicle like this would suffer. It's only got a 30 kilometers an hour top speed, and that means yes, it's chugging along because it's very, very heavy. This is a 150 ton tank destroyer with the engines up front. Normally the E100 would have the engine at the rear. He's going after that enemy E100 with a vengeance, and I suppose he's trying to get below the gun depression of the Heshbon. Can he get around into the E100? Well, not without taking around first, and yes, he does take a hit, and he pumps one into the turret and gets a penetration for 957, a low roll. The weapon trigger's trying to line up a shot. He's taking lots of damage. The E100 gets another shot into him. Now this is where it gets dangerous, because he's going to take fire from the weapon trigger, and he gets hit by the E100 again, but takes him out the game. So that's 2 kills. Blocks the shot from the IS-22, but that weapon trigger is still there, and now it's 3 versus 6. So they're outnumbered 2-1. He's trying to get into a better position. The Heshbon's still up there. He's probably going to take a hit. Yes, he does. And it was an HE round, standard HE, not the Hesh. Turning to face the Heshbon. Can get a shot in. Oh, takes a round in the side from the Tiger 2. And that wasn't good. Heshbon's decided to go down the other side, so of course he's difficult to get at the moment. I think if he does go across that gap now, the Heshbon might be lined up and ready and waiting for him to put a round into his side. And he's turned around because now there's a Type 4 Heavy coming up behind him. And now he's kind of trapped. There's only 2 of them left now, facing 6, so they're outnumbered 3-1 now. And as I said, we'll stop the replay at the point where it gets critical. Yes, it's happened, and it was the Heshbon that got the kill. So we're going to stop the replay there, because we can see that he is out of the game, and we're going to start the battle yet again with the player who is the focus of this game. It can only be one, because you can see right now there is only one enemy, one teammate left in the game. It's the TVP T5051, who goes by the name of WhiteBoiSwag. And here we are with WhiteBoiSwag in the TVP T5051. And shootr79 is behind him. Well, this tank actually has a 105mm, I think it is a 105, if I remember correctly. No, it's a 100mm gun, which is capable of doing 320 alpha and penetrating 248mm of armour. You can see that WhiteBoiSwag has actually decided to go straight up into the pocket, and he's got the speed to get up there fairly quickly, 60 kilometers an hour. This is a tier 10 Czech medium. It's a 5-shot autoloader. 4-shot autoloader, sorry, get it wrong. So he's fired off his first set of shells. The standard reload is 23.97 seconds, and he's got 23.72. 2 marks of excellence on the barrel of his gun. And he's loaded and ready to go. Now there's a Charpue Chewer 4 on the enemy team just below him, and yes, he has been spotted. He's been proximity spotted by that tank. So he has to move into cover, otherwise he's going to take fire from the Progetto 46 across the other side of Temple Mount, or the A Phase 1. The A Phase 1's a little lower in the ground, so he's not likely to see us, but we don't want that Progetto to get easy shots into our side. The armour's fairly thin. The best armour is actually at the front of the vehicle, on the turret with 120mm, 65 on the hull. So it's not particularly strong on armour, TVP. What it is strong on doing is pumping out a lot of damage very, very quickly, because it's the time between each shot is only 1.5 seconds intra-clip, and it's got 4 shots, so it's capable of doing 1,280 minutes of damage very, very quickly. In fact, in 4.5 seconds, it can meter out a huge amount of damage. Then, of course, it's got that very long reload. Okay, that Charpue Chewer 4 is in a lot of trouble now because the Types managed to put a number of rounds into him. But he's still only fired 1 round off, and that Turtle's threatening him. He goes up to the gap. No shot in the A Phase 1 at the moment, but the Turtle's a 1 shot. And I think the Char is going to go down this time to the Type 61. Oh, no, he pulled back instead. In fact, the Type is actually now low on hit points. And the Turtle's been taken out by our E100. Now, it's this point in the battle. shootr79's already got his first kill. And you can see that WhiteBoiSwag hasn't really got any good shots at the moment on the enemy, but he is reloaded, got a full set of 4 shells ready to go. The A Phase 1 just took a hit. He's been proximity spotted, but I think he's still being spotted now by a Leopard 1 who's not too far away. Okay, there's a potential Cranvan moving up. We saw that Cranvan earlier in the game. He's decided to change position in the pocket. Get a little further down, he might actually be able to change position altogether. In fact, he's going to dismount, and it's very dangerous dismounting from this rock this way. He can take a bit of damage, but he's changing position to try and get a better angle on the enemy. And he's heading south so he can get to the tanks on Temple Mount, this rock right in the centre, which actually has a ruined temple on it. It's a fairly rugged medium tank. It's got a fast top speed, 60 kilometers an hour. Great DPM, fairly good clip reload, good aim time as well, and the shell velocity is very fast on top of that. Okay, the A Phase 1's going to die this time. Oh, one into the side of the turret, 2, and there you go. He's out, and he's spent all his clip, but he got rid of his first kill, which is the A Phase 1. Unfortunately, we did lose one of our teammates as well at the same time. But the score's even at the moment. Unfortunately, it's not going to stay that way. Taking the north side of Temple Mount to see if he can do some damage to those guys up north. Looking for the Cranvan. He's been spotted. Now, I wonder who actually spotted him there. I think it's somebody in the pocket on the enemy side who saw him. Oh, he's actually been spotted by that Tiger too, and he takes out the enemy Scorpion. So he needs to change position, otherwise that Tiger 2 is going to get another shot on him. Would not be surprised to see a shell whip past his hull. Well, he's going defensive now because obviously the enemy is pushing us, and we can't really give help to the IS-3 and E100 on our team, who have decided to go way up in front, and now they're being threatened by a Heshbon. Okay, we're reloaded, ready to go. See the shootr79 has relocated himself. It's going after the Cranbarn, but the Cranbarn's just died, and there goes the GSOR. Unfortunately, we lost both of the heavy tanks, the IS-3 and the GSOR 1008. Well, the IS-3 was one of the heavy tanks, the E100 was the other one. And so he's now trying to find the best spot he can go to get damage on the enemy without being wiped out. Although he still has fair amounts of health. And it looks to me like WhiteBoiSwag is actually going to try and outmaneuver the enemy and get a tactical advantage on them. We don't know where the ELC is, but we know there's an E100 coming down the other way. There he is. We've got a shot. Decided not to take it. It wasn't certain that he would be able to get that shot into the target, although it was going to go in through the casement. And we've been spotted again, but this time around it's the weapon trader, and yep, he's changing his aim, and he just took 4 hits, 1,336, which means he came out with a high roll clip. Now that Tiger 2's still there, but he's still waiting for the reload to go through. The reload's much shorter than that on the ELC Ever-90, but of course, remember, this is a tier 10 medium, and the ELC Ever-90 is only a tier 8 light tank. But of course, he's only got 3 shots to play with, whereas WhiteBoiSwag's got 4. Oh, 2 shots into the Heshbon, and he didn't take any shots in return. So I think the Heshbon was a little startled by suddenly seeing somebody, and he's popped the reload to make sure that he's got 4 shells ready for him. Now you can see shootr79 is one of only 2 teammates he's still got left alive. He's got a full clip ready to go. And the Type 4 Heavy's just come up, and now it's just WhiteBoiSwag and shootr79 left on his team, and 1 shell into the Tiger 2, and he gets the kill shot. He did take a hit in the tracks, but it was only in the tracks. He didn't lose any hit points, and unfortunately that was shootr79 dying. So he's all alone now, and he's facing 5 enemy tanks. Oh, bounces around from the ELC Ever-90. He must be up in the pocket. Yeah, it does look like that. Now he saw the IS-2, pumps 2 rounds in, can't get the kill shot. He did the right thing to bail, and he's popped the reload. Smart move. Try and keep as many shells as you can in the chamber. You can see one of the rounds that actually hit him on the mantlets, and didn't pen. I think that was one of the shots, may have been from the ELC Ever-90. He's now up to just under 5k of actual damage, which is a good performance, but he's facing 5 enemies, which means potentially he could get a Kolobanov if he can survive the battle. Here comes the Heshbon. 1 round in, kill shot, yep, gets it. Only 2 hit points, but it is a kill, and that means now he's only facing 4. He's outnumbered on hit points as well, but he's playing it, and he's using the best aspect of this vehicle, his speed and the ability to put in a huge amount of damage very, very quickly, and then Scarper before the enemy can do anything about it. Okay, it's loaded, ready to go. Who's it going to meet first? You'll see. Or is it going to be one of the others? The IS-22's a one-shot, so you can easily take that guy out. The weapon trader's very low on hit points. It's the Type 4 that might be the problem. Standard APCR is the ammo. Oh, the enemy started capping. Oh, and he's bound the Type 4, but he can take him out because he's got the side of him. Pumps one in, go for the rear, and he gets the kill shot. And that means now there's only 3 left, and he's also got 20% of the enemy hit pool, which means he might have a high caliber. Now you might say, oh, well, he's dawdling at the moment, but yes, he does need to pick up speed, mainly because there are now 2 in the gap, and the enemy realises the danger they're in, and he's almost finished his reload. Now they're not going to see him coming until he's nearly in the cap area, and then they'll suddenly spot him and realise the danger they're in. He can probably kill 1 or 2 of them, because remember, they are one-shots. The ELC's, I think, is very low on hit points, and the Waffenträger's definitely is. Oh! Puts one into the Waffenträger, gets the reset, takes out the IS-2, and now it's one-on-one with an ELC Evan 90. And he's got, well, as far as we can see, the ELC's got 900 hit points. But I'm wondering if that's true. He's only got 237 left because he did take 1 big hit from the Waffenträger for 567, and he's decided to hide in the bush and try and ambush the ELC when he turns up. The ELC has to come to the cap. He can't leave it anymore. He can't sit where he is. The rest of the team are getting quite excited, and WhiteBoiSwag is saying, I'm trying. Deep breaths. Yeah, he's doing fantastically. Use the attributes of this vehicle to its best. Its speed, it's the amount of damage it can pump out is huge. They're saying, are you shaking yet? And he says yes. Yes, well, we all get like this when we get at this point in the game. He's on for a Radley Walters as well. If he kills the ELC, he gets a Radley's and a collar ban off. And he'll also walk away with just under 7k in damage, or over 7k of damage. But he's got to work out where this ELC is going to appear from. He's not going to want to go into the cap and sit there, because if he does, he is vulnerable. But the ELC is a very sneaky little tank, and that's why it's a good idea for him to be sitting in a bush, because the ELC is probably going to know that he's been spotted, but there's not much he will be able to do. And WhiteBoiSwag should be able to get the kill shot before the ELC works out where he is. 2-minute warning. He was last seen in the pocket where WhiteBoiSwag was for quite a long time in the battle. And he's left it too late to cap out, so he is hunting the ELC. And so I think he's decided he's going to go hunting as well. So if he's good on snapshots, he should be able to take the guy out fairly quickly. Remember, he's got 4 shells, the ELC's only got 3. If he's still up in that pocket, he should have seen us, but he hasn't seen us. We haven't got enough time to cap out ourselves. But if he is still up in the pocket, he could be on his side. He could have flipped it. And if he has, and there's the 1-minute warning. Is he still in the pocket? Well, we didn't get a 6th sense as we went past. So maybe the ELC is trying to overlook his own cap to see if he can get shots on us. Take a quick look in the pocket just in case. He might be up here. "22 seconds left. Where is he? 12 seconds left. He's been spotted. There he is. Oh, he gets a hit. And another one. And Shot wins the game. And a Radley Walters and a collar ban off. Fantastic game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for WhiteBoiSwag in the TVP T 5051, the tier 10 Czech medium. And he managed to get a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, in fact he got 12. He got a duelist as well for taking down 2 tanks who did damage him, but best of all he did pick up some epics and battle hero medals as well. He got the Calabanos medal. He stood alone against at least 5 enemy tanks and took them out and won the game. He also managed to get a Radley Walters medal by killing 8 enemy vehicles, as well as a defender for resetting the cap on that Waffenträger, and also the other enemy in the cap area. Trying to remember who that was actually now. It was the IS-22, wasn't it? Yes, he shot him up the rear. And he got the high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool, and a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. Let's have a look at team score. Well, there he is, right at the top with 7,608 hit points of damage. The second highest damage in the game actually went to shootr79 with 4,274 hit points, and the third highest damage in the game went to the Heshpan on the enemy team with 3,926. When it came to kills, he got the hot top on that with 8 kills. 3 kills went to the Heshpan, 3 kills went to the Waffenträger, and when it came to base XP, he's got that one as well. So he's got the top in all 3 columns. 1,464 went to WhiteBoiSwag, 1,005 went to the TVP T, and 819 went to the Rheinmetall Scorpion. He fired 33 rounds in that game. Very good result, actually. 33 direct hits on the enemy and 29 penetrations. Only a few rounds, only 4 rounds actually didn't pen the target. They just went in the wrong spot. But everything hit the target that was aimed at the target. 7,608 hit points of damage, of which 1,592 were at more than 300 meters. He received 5 hits from the enemy. 3 of those were penetrations, 2 non-penetrations, and 220 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle, damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 8, and did 365 hit points of damage assistance. And he got 94 defense points when he reset the cap. He earned 65,655 credits from the battle, 40,000 from personal missions payout, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, he ended up with 44,815 credits profit. 1,464 XP times 2 for the first victory took away 4,392 experience points altogether. So let's have a quick look at the TVP T5051 on its armor. Well, it doesn't have much. It's pretty small, actually. You're looking impacted armor on the front upper plate of 65. Lower plate, you've got 65, and some certain sections have gone up to 80. And the turret is a little stronger, 120 millimeters at the front of the turret, but it is still a light or medium tank rather, and a fast one at that, which means it has to be fairly light on armor. The size of the vehicle, you can see it's got shoulders here, which are 65 millimeters coming out at 83. The sides 40 millimeters coming out at 43, because it's kind of slab-sided on the side, slight angling. The rear of the vehicle is only 30 millimeters and it's slab-sided. The engine deck is only 20 millimeters, so you can penetrate this if you're an Arty, and you can get through the top of the turret as well, because that's 30 millimeters thick right on top. So if you can put the shell in the right spot, you should be able to get a pen. So let's have a quick look at the live map so we can see exactly where it's vulnerable. Well, yeah, I'm afraid it is vulnerable all the way round. In with a 100mm gun, you're still going to get through that armor. You're only not going to get through the armor if you hit a spot, say, like the tracks, which of course would act like spaced armor, or if you hit it at such a high angle, you get a ricochet. Let's have a look at the modules. Well, if we look at the modules, we can see that it's got the driver sitting in the center up front, and he's got 2 ammo racks either side of him, behind him slightly. And on this side of the tank, the ammo rack is slightly easier to get at because you just got to aim between the tracks and you should be able to get it there. But there's a big ammo rack in the bustle. We've got the loader on the right-hand side, the gunner on the left-hand side, with the tank commander directly behind him. And the radio set is actually on the loader's side of the tank. 2 big fuel tanks in the shoulders at the rear, sandwiching the engine and transmissions at the rear of the vehicle. So yes, plenty of modules that you can hit. The easiest one to hit, of course, is the one in the turret, the bustle, because of course it's a well-known spot. But as you can see here, there are ammo racks either side of the tank and a fuel tank in an easy to hit spot, which you can easily pen. So that was the result for WhiteBoiSwag. Let's have a look at shootr79's result from that battle. Okay, well, the Jaeger, he managed a second-class tanker out of the game and also got a fire for effect for doing a fair bit of damage. In fact, he got more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. If we look at the rest of the details, well, we've seen these details before, so let's have a quick look at detailed instead. We can see he only fired 9 17cm shells in the game, but he got 7 direct hits on the enemy and 6 penetrations. Damage of 4,274 hit points, of which 3,216 were at more than 300 meters. 10 hits received from the enemy, 4 of which penetrated, 5 non-penetrations, and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. 1,990 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He damaged 5 of the enemy, killed 2, and did 505 hit points of spotting assist in that game. He earned 34,627 credits, but I'm afraid because he was firing nothing but heat ammo, or mostly heat ammo throughout that battle, his ammunition costs were kind of on the high side, but he still came out with only a loss of 35,975 credits, and that's an acceptable level if you actually get a win out of it as well. 798 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 2,394 experience points altogether. We'll have another quick look at the Jaeger's armor. You can see it's incredibly heavy actually if you look at the values. You can see the lower plate is a weak spot, 15 centimeters thick, but it comes out at 283, slightly angled. The upper plate's slightly better, 200 millimeters, coming out as 302. It gets a little weaker here, it's only 40 millimeters, but that's the engine deck area, which of course a tank can't hit. You can see the driver is actually sitting up front of the vehicle, and we can see this very, very heavy mantlet or front of casement area, which is 25 centimeters thick. And if you go onto the mantlet itself, it's 30 centimeters of armor, so very difficult to penetrate from the front. There is a little cupola up here that you can hit, and that's only 160 millimeters, but the best place you're actually looking for is to get the lower plate. If you can get the lower plate, you should be able to pen that. Even though it's up to 300 millimeters, you could be able to pen that with a heat round. If we look at the sides of the vehicle, it's got that spaced armor, which is shielding the tracks, which of course is a common feature on the E100. And at the side of the casement, it's at 15 centimeters again, but this is slab-sided or slightly angled, you can see there. So you can penetrate that at 100 if you've got 170 millimeters of pen. The rear of the vehicle is slightly weaker because, of course, it's got those doors, 15 centimeters, and it's slab-sided again, so it's coming out at about 15. And lower down, 15 centimeters, but it's actually coming out to 26 because that's slightly sloped inwards. So looking at it for the thickness of the armor, you can see it's a very strong tank from the front. If we look at the live map, you can see there the front plate, the upper plate, very strong, the mantlet very strong, and of course this is fairly strong on the front of the casement. Slightly easier to hit the lower plate. Just backs up what I said earlier. And let's have a look at modules. Okay, looking at the modules, you can see we've got the driver on the right hand side up front. He's got the radio operator on his right, and over here we've got the transmission coming directly from the engine, which is sitting directly behind them. But they've got 2 fuel tanks either side of the wings of the tank, but it's very difficult to hit them because of course it's got that heavy armor right on the front of the vehicle. We've got a massive ammo rack right in the center of the vehicle, 17 centimeter shells. So they're very heavy shells. That's why it takes so long to load it. And they've got 2 loaders as well. And you can see there, gunners on the right hand side, tank commander on the left hand side of the vehicle. But even with those 2 loaders, it still takes ages to load this vehicle. And its main weakness of this vehicle is the fact that it does take some time to get another shell in the breech. And that is when you can actually hit it and try and get behind it and do some damage. That ammo rack is fairly well protected, being right behind the engine, so it's not likely to get penetrated from the front. It could get penetrated from the side if you've got enough pen, and of course it could be penned from the rear of the vehicle, but of course you've got that fuel tank in the way as well, so it's kind of well protected, so to speak. So yes, the Jaeger is massive armor, very difficult to kill these things. You are actually better off if you can lay Arty shells on top of it to try and slow it down a little, and then enable your teammates to get the weak spots and put it out of action. So there's the modules for the Jaeger. So, of course, congratulations to WhiteBoiSwag. He must have been tremendously nervous and shaking. I've been shaking when I've got Radleys in the past, when the whole team is relying on you to actually pull him through. But he did a fantastic carry at the end, got that collar band off. And it was incredible that the ELC Ever 90 made that huge mistake of going out into the open. He could have just hidden in a bush and waited for sight of the TVP to come into view, and then he could put those shells in and quickly run away. But no, he made the big mistake of going out into the open, and WhiteBoiSwag had fantastic reflexes to get those snapshots on target. 3 shots in a row, bang, 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 and the ELC was toast, and he won the game for his team. It was really great, and of course he was under pressure from the chat as well. They were all watching what he was doing, and he must have been conscious of the fact that he was there. He was the last man on his team, and he was doing it for the team. It's a lot of pressure, but he came through, and he did a fantastic job. So congratulations to WhiteBoiSwag, and great game as well for shootr79 in the Yay group. Now, if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.